What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone. Somehow it sent us flying into the stars.
Terrible, terrible, terrible! It will consume us all! By the quill that lasts a billion words, what's this? 2 Rivalonians here? At the end of space and time? How very, very, very curious! Perhaps my newfound comrade, but that is hardly our chiefest concern. We stand on a tiny vestige of space and time, and the ground is fast shrinking. It's good you appeared, however you did it, precisely when and where you did, or you might have found yourself free-floating in empty space. Oh, but I suppose I should make a proper introduction. Zigzax the historian at your service. It is my job to record all that was and is, and hopefully all that is to be. Ah, at last a question I can answer most definitively. I mentioned already that this place is the end of time. If that didn't send your heart into your stomach and your pulse a-flutter, it should have. Naturally to have no end at all. Indeed, I can think of no worse nightmare for a chronicler such as myself. But something totally, utterly terrible has happened. Show, don't tell, I always say. So go, peer through yonder looking lens and feast your soon-to-be terrified eyes on the darkness that is approaching.
It may be quite mad.
Then we had better appease him and have a look through the looking lens.
You looked. You saw. Terrifying, isn't... What's this? The portal. It's... The portal. It's quite sprung to life, just like the long dormant flames that decorate this observatory. After all my waiting and hoping, could it be? You, dear stranger, you must be the key. Something about your presence here is causing the end of time to grow. The true end itself to move further away. Those torches, a light! This portal active once more! It cannot be coincidence. Goodness me, how right you are. There's so much to take in, I'd nearly forgotten. And what you saw has been haunting my mind since I first discovered it. It is the void itself. The dragon that is devouring creation. When I speak of the end of time, this is exactly what I mean. say for sure where it came from, how or why, but I do know this. It's shrinking our future by the second. And if we don't stop it, it will devour the past and present as well. It's not that I believe, it's that I have seen. Long have I been waiting here, hoping that one day this very portal would ignite. Then, no longer than a few mere moments after you arrive, zap it goes. The Chronicler of Time knows a pattern when he sees one. Ah, though I cannot say for certain, if it is what I believe, then our prayers might well be answered. In fact, every last question that ever plagues your noggin might well be answered, for I believe what lies beyond this portal is nothing other than... But why spoil the mystery? As soon as we leap through, we'll find out for certain. After you, after you. Oh, what wonders we may find. You first. But don't... Yes! Just as I hoped. There she is. There it is. Come.
And he's off!
It seems the imp has spotted exactly who and what it hoped to find here.
Could it be, milady? The weaver of time? Mother of history? Author of all that has ever been?
Indeed, Sir Imp. As surely as you are he who chronicles all that I weave.
Astounding! Unbelievable! I have so many questions for you, so much to ask, so much to say.
You have brought guests, I see. Strange. Very strange guests.
My reaction exactly, milady. It was their arrival here at the end of time that instigated my finding you. But why? Surely you must know.
This is a question better put to our guests themselves. Tell us, how did you arrive upon this plane? A stone. So, it was a stone that caused the great shock of energy that brought you here, and it infused you with new life as well. Is that so? Not like this, no. What happened to you is unique in all my work. Never had I experienced something so contrary to my nature. To weave something I had not seen, had not expected. Life does not simply spring into existence, you see. But yours has. You appeared before me from the moment you came into contact with that stone. Starstone. I now know it to be called.
But, Madam Weaver, how is it possible? Do you not see all? Have you not woven all that is and could ever be into your tapestry?
Like the stones, your guests are a mystery to me. I see them before me in this world, but their likenesses appeared not upon my tapestry until they revived the stone. Source Hunters. It would seem that yourselves and Starstone are inextricably linked. Why and how, I cannot say, but I do believe that finding more stones will reveal to me who you yourselves truly are. Starstone is not what it seems, Source Hunter. Its true nature must be part of a greater secret, a secret lost even to me. Do you see what violence my work has suffered? What wounds lay upon the tapestry of time?
Mysteries of all time, gaps in history. Oh, how they've tormented me for eons.
It would appear that Starstone transforms at your touch, granting me new thread by which to mend the tapestry. Thus, it restores time itself.
I see. What the void would shrink, Starstone restores.
Yes, though I cannot explain why this Starstone is the antidote to the void's ravishment of our realm. If we do not restore time, if we do not discover the true nature of these stones, the void will consume us all. Indeed you must. Though I may not yet understand why. It seems that you and you alone can unlock the powers within Starstone. Yet we are not the only entities who know these stones to be so much more than pretty gems.
Why, of course, that's what they were doing. I have recorded their doings, you see. Collectors of Starstone, more and more by the day. Now I understand. They'd keep the stones from our reach. They'd prevent the mending of time.
Without these stones, Hunter, there will be no Rivalon. The entire tapestry will crumble. Even this plane will fall victim to the void's insatiable hunger.
That shall never be, milady. As sure as Zix comes before Zax, we will put a stop to it. First we mend the tapestry, then we stop the void. Please, our most mysterious guest, are you ready? Are you willing? Will you hunt out the stones? Will you help us? What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell.
Not but a moment ago, we were hunting Source in Rivalon. And now, we're being told that we alone can prevent the end of time by way of some magical stones. What do you make of it?
So, what do you think, Source
No
Hunter?
matter how improbable, anything is possible. If the Weaver tells the truth, we have some serious work ahead of us.
For you if you're up to the challenge. The glint in your gaze and the set of your brow suggest to me that you've not given up on our dear old Rivalon. Not just yet. No, with you searching out Starstone, I believe we'll mend the tapestry in no time. We'll find out just who you are and how exactly to send the void back to wherever it came from. But you'll need a way to travel between Rivalon and this homestead, won't you? Who wouldn't want to see what fantastic changes your search will yield? And who knows what the Weaver might discover about you? Luckily, the power of portals is known to you, so I'll let you in on the little secret of how to transport back and forth from the end of time. Just, you know, don't go sharing it around. Never know who we can trust. Off you go, then. You've Starstone to find, and I've a tapestry to examine. Surely there must be some clue here as to how on earth you're related to the end of time.
Cross my heart, hope to fade in the void, I honestly don't know. But ask her. If she claims it is so, perhaps she knows why.
Like the imp said to the ballista operator, shoot! Oh, I don't know if I'm more than those things per se, but having been given a divine mission does have its perks. Old age can't touch me, that's one. Immortality is mine as long as no one skewers me with a sword, and even then I'll be back in a jiffy. But of course I have a price to pay for something that is priceless. It is my duty to record all of history, and an arduous task that is. Not to mention how much stress that void out there is causing me. The end of time. I'll be out of a job. So, gather those Starstones so that we may know the history that was lost. Know so that we must not repeat what leads us to this dangerous precipice, but do better and close the dark eye of the void forever. Wouldn't it just? Would that I had a Starstone sightseeing guide, but alas, just like yourselves, Starstones are curiously absent from history, both in my writings and on the tapestry. From what I can gather, though, they were once cherished by devious sorcerers whose reign ended long ago. The stones are therefore most likely to be found in the ancient places of this world. Ruins, caves, the lairs of long-forgotten evils. Those are the dens you should frequent. 2 more pieces of advice. Don't go unarmed, and consult with my agent. Lonesome, observing the frontier of creation, surfing the vibrant tide of the eons, always approaching yet never reaching shore. Lonesome, being privy to all that has been and all that is. Well, yes, actually. I don't mean to complain, but one certainly doesn't mind a bit of company now and then. Perhaps you can imagine the profound pleasure it is to have made the Weaver's acquaintance after all these years. I can hardly wait to pick her brain about the great battle of the Sons of Sigurd. The last Rivellonian who remembers it died more than 7,000 years ago. Neither do I, but the mere fact that activated Starstone has set the Weaver of Time weaving again more than implies that it and the Void Dragon are natural enemies. This in turn more than implies that you are the Void's natural enemy, for it is you who is setting new events in motion. You who is handing the Weaver new threads. And that which she is weaving is more than an ornament to decorate the shelter plane. It is both history and future history. It is all of time. We may not understand the how yet, but our aim is clear. We shall save creation from the grip of the void. Now, isn't that a lovely mission? Before you go, Source Hunter, a final word. Once you return to Rivellon, there will be someone waiting for you. My agent, my eyes and ears upon your world. I hope he'll be able to help you as much as he can. Time, I need hardly remind you, is of the essence. A question has me stumped, milady. Why are there two of us? Two beings that record all of history parallel to one another.
That is a good question, Zigzags. One without a conclusive answer, though its resolution may lie in conception. Where you chronicle, I both chronicle and create. Where you arrive at conclusions, I spin origins besides. How welcome you are upon this realm, our most honored guest. I hope you begin to find this place more familiar than it may yet seem. In the ethereal threads of eternity, do I record the deeds of gods and men, of beasts and spectral apparitions, the drift of continents through changing seas, the rise and fall of empires, the shift of every grain of sand on every beach, the fall of every raindrop on every world, the all but imperceptible touch of lovers' hands. This and all I chronicle without fault. Except, it seems, you. Ask and I shall answer, if I can. Alas, the answers to those questions still elude me. You and Starstone remain the imperfections upon the tapestry. As yet. A hidden answer lies behind this veil of inscrutability, though. For the link between you and the stones reveals that your destinies are intertwined. I believe that starstones will not lead you to new places of wonder only. No. They will also lead to new knowledge through the restoration of the threads of old. Quite so. Your absence. It should be an impossibility, but no matter where I look, you cannot be found. I do not know you, which makes you my one perennial imperfection, a blind spot in the eye of time. But perchance I may be cured of this blindness. Perchance the blemish may be undone, and time can be redeemed. What it is but a seed bereft of sun and water. What it could be, that is what the starstones will tell us. What it is but the end. What it could be is the end of ends. I reside in another realm altogether. But ever since the end of time appeared in these deep dark skies, I materialized here, as if forced to watch the one thing that is unwatchable, unendurable. A thankless task that you may yet free me from forever. I think that perhaps you can redeem time, because you create time. Indeed, you have set in motion an event I no longer held possible. Know that no longer I did weave. I sat here at the end of time and watched on as the void frays the fabric of time like a terrified god that fears the offspring of his own creations. But suddenly there was you. You who stirred the life within the stones. These stones, children of stars. They place new ribbons along my fingers like phantoms out of time. New threads emerged, and I began to weave anew. Starstone gives me new strands to braid into the tapestry. And because you give Starstone energy, it seems that you are creating time. These starstones, please seek them so that time may yet be mended, Please, for the sake of all that lives and all that loves, seek them so that the void may yet devour itself alone. I am the Weaver of Time, as I have told you. Though my existence is one that falls behind and yet far exceeds the verb, to be. I am but what I am, and that is task. It is the same for the historian. Chroniclers both are we of the epics of eternity. Perhaps we are one and the same. Task multiplied by 2. Who has made us? I do not know. Why have they done so? I do not know. Am I the beginning? And am I to be the end? Who shall say? Perhaps I am the first thing in creation. Perhaps I am creation. Perhaps I am the creator. Or maybe it is you. You who makes dying stars rekindle. Time alone will tell. Oh, Hunter. I have no need for company. Like I have no need for air or appetite or affection. All I need and all I am is time. And time is running out unless you remedy its decline. And yet, I do enjoy your companionship, for you may prove to become the cure that will heal my slipping soul. How might I serve our mission?
Good to see you on the shelter plane. A home away from home, is it not? The Lady of Time, the Weaver of History. I am your biggest fan, dear lady. Could I get your autograph?
It shall be my pleasure, Sir Imp. I'll embroider it in the first volume of your all-encompassing chronicles.
I want to know more about the void. What it is, what lies at the heart of it.
What lies at its heart? Why, nothing, of course. The great absence of all that even the
I am the last chest, the last chest, the last chest! If you believe yourself worthy of rifling through my ample treasures, I do dare you to prove it! Find my 4 sisters.
Source Hunters, I welcome you once again to the realm of Rivellon after your travels through the chasms of space. Nice to have found a shelter, wouldn't you agree? Where you can come to no harm. I know the imp historian has told you about his agent on Rivellon, and that agent is I. So now that you know of the alliance between me and Sir Zigzax, let us turn to the business at hand. Starstone. And I'll be delighted to give it. Dark webs are being woven around these parts, and it is my firm belief starstones are the flies the sorcerer spiders are trying to catch. It can therefore hardly be a coincidence that Councillor Jake was a collector of the stones we seek. His foul murder and the plight of dying time must somehow be interconnected. That means the task you have been given remains crucial. Find the assassin that did away with Jake, for you're bound to stumble upon Starstone along the way. While you were being lectured by our friend the historian and the grande dame of time, I snuck into his house and had a look around. The advantage of being a cat, you know. You go where you please with impunity. And sometimes the lady of the house even rewards you with a slice of fresh herring. That's where I saw them in a cabinet. Mere slivers, but specks of starstones nonetheless. They lay there, silent and innocent, though bloody murder may have been committed in their name. Let me phrase it like Zigzax might. A universe without time is like a pen without ink. A pointless instrument stripped of the potential of creation. It is void. It is death. It is nothing. I'll not pretend to have all the answers, or that I understand all that is happening here and out there among the stars, but I do know I'd rather err on the side of caution. If Zigzax worries, I worry. We are talking about a creature, after all, that has reclined among the divines as nonchalantly as you and I lays beside the hearths of home. I met him first, a long time ago, out in the wastes of Youthful Gore. He wondered aloud what on earth a cat was doing out there in the scorching desert, then shared what little food and water he had with him. So I told him who I was and showed him my human form. He laughed and marveled and told me stories about his travels. In the end, he even shared his great sorrow with me. The unspeakable thing you saw through his looking lens. I was awed and frightened, but swore to help him in any way I could. As of now, that includes helping the two of you. Don't we all long for a sanctuary where our worldly troubles can be held at bay? A bed or a basket so snug it becomes, in a word, safety. But perhaps I speak only for myself, not for veterans such as yourselves that by necessity call any patch of ground they rest upon home. Like any cat worth its salt, though, I deeply cherish a secret refuge unbeknownst to anyone. To be able to repose without a care is such a precious circumstance, saved all too seldomly. Oh, before you go, here, take this teleporter pyramid. A handy toy indeed that Zigzax asked me to give to you. You'll need the other one too if you want to make use of its powers, but alas, I seem to have misplaced it. Don't worry though. Use this one here and it'll take you straight to its twin. Now that this matter has been settled, hunters, I shall detain you no longer. But rest assured, I'll do my share of hunting too. So if you spot a white cat during your travels, do stop to say hello.
What is going on here? First I have to shoo away a creeping white tomcat, and now there's a perfect stranger in my bathroom. Get out, will you? A magical pyramid, eh? Frivolous and lecherous magic, more like. Leave my house, afore the divines punish you for your aberrant ways. Out! Now, if you please! This room is private. If she soaks in flower stink much longer, deer will smell this lady from a field
Don't
away.
just stand
I'll
there.
save a leg of something good for when she begins to starve.
Away with you!
Hey! Stop that! What are you still doing here? Begone!
Now this is valuable.
Out! Now, if you please! This room is private.
Pay the big cheese on your block for the whale of the good stuff.
Oh, careful now. Your head's growing more swollen than saffrons, I dare say.
Back, demon! Back, or I'll... Well, what's this? Oh, Medora, you lummox. 1,000 pardons, comrade. This old bear's edgier than a dodecahedron these days. I'll tell you, it sure does me good to set eyes on another of our order. From Academy West, aren't you? Give Captain Wartruce my regards next time you see him. You wouldn't. I trained up in Academy North, after all. We don't cross paths with you Westies all that often, but it's always a pleasure when we do. Medora's the name. Retired, or so the Order keeps trying to tell me, but never out of commission. My hand to your cause and my sword at your side. Heavens hornets! That's quite a story, comrade. And come to think of it, one that might concern you. See, I'm here on, well, let's call it a loan from a town to the north of here. Hunter's Edge by name. There's been an attack there, comrade. Orcs. Not your run-of-the-mill savages either, but ones who've taken dark magic to new heights. What they want in Hunter's Edge, I can't say, but it's my responsibility to send them packing. Preferably with their horns in their suitcases and a knee-knocking fear of ever crossing paths with a sauce hunter again. I came south seeking the Legion's help, only to find it tied here in Sicil. They don't have a spare soldier to send northward, and even in my finest form, I can't clear the place of that many orcs without backup. By the skin of my teeth, comrade. The savages were rounding up villagers when one of them activated a tripwire on our village wizard's property. Fortunately for me, that particular wizard has a penchant for things that go boom in the night. I managed to wrench free of my captor's grip and flee toward the forest. He pursued me for miles, but I'd lost him before I made it into the Sicil hinterlands. Well, comrade, I hadn't thought of it till you tapped my shoulder just now. But perhaps that's where you come in. I need a contingent I can trust if I'm to take back the town. And the way I see it, you could use reinforcements here in town. I've been scouting Sicil for some time now, and I believe I've sussed out sufficient intel to help solve the murder of the Counselor. With our minds and swords in tandem, we'll make short work of the perpetrator. Well, you know the old expression. 2's a tea party, 3's an invasion. I know this place like the back of my hand by now, and the orcs up north will be short work for a trained-up trio of sauce hunters.
Another source hunter on the team will make us all the more formidable against this wicked magic. Welcome aboard, Medora.
That's the spirit. Listen closely now. Do you hear it? That's the sound of every orc and sorcerer in a 100-mile radius shaking in his wee boots.
Have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's End? They say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom, old friend. Come now, Alistair. Surely you've met your match once or twice.
The closest I've got to my matches when I linger up along while lighting my pipe.
Oh, careful now. Your head's growing more swollen than saffrons, I dare say.
Whatever happened to that children eager imbecile we sent to the Golden Cave?
Do I seem like the sort who concerns myself with such things?
You'll be concerned enough when you realize that reward money won't be lining your pockets.
Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's End?
Fortune? Ah, these days are luckiest to be defeated by Alistair the Great.
They say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom, old friend. Come now, Alistair. Surely you've met your match once or twice.
Ha! The closest I've got to my match is when I linger over long while lighting my pipe.
Oh, careful now. Your head's growing more swollen than saffrons, I dare say. the sort who concerns myself with such things.
You'll be concerned enough when you realize that reward money won't be lining your pockets.
Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's Edge?
Fortune? Ha! Easily so.
Old friend?
Ho-hum.
no evading mine. Look out! I see a trap nearby.
What venom churns within me?
How gratifying to see you return. You are quickly becoming my favorite customer.
I guess someone else got here first. Careful now, that's a trap!
He's like really tearing this guy's shit up.
Explosive flame!
No, was that really worth it? Doesn't look like. What's I got to say?
This will is disgusting.
That's funny. I think I just. Yeah, I was stupid. I'm streaming. Thank you. I guess that was worth it. If I can get some rest now.
How gratifying to see you return. You are quickly becoming my favorite customer. That I am. You wouldn't believe. How gratifying to see you return. You are quickly becoming my favorite customer.
Dang. Okay, I just gotta see more stuff. After I sleep, of course.
Hearty welcome to the King Crab Inn, and a pleasure to have you. You look like you could use a round or three, so what'll it be? Have a seat and stay a while. The name's Ivad. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I've been offering the weary travellers of Sicil drink and rest for nearly 2 decades now, but the King Crab's older than that by a long shot. All you see before you is the manifestation of my great-grandpappy Horatius Dungeness's noble vision. Beer and naps for everyone. No questions asked. Well, between you and me, things have been rather slow since the, incident. But with spirits high and liquor flowing like it is tonight, it seems the crab may just come out of that pinch.
I feel better already.
Oh, that's... Oh, no, they did that. Okay.
On the mend! Ah!
Come now, Alistair. Surely you've met your match once or twice.
I smell the fierce stench of frightened source goblet.
Actually, I think that's only roast pig.
Ah, yes. Yes, of course. This time.
Oh, how nice it is of you. The very picture of you. Pray, let me be forward with you. Oh, sapling rose. Oh, you would listen to my grievances. Guide me towards untroubled realms. Oh, you are truly a wonder. Oh, budding hot spiced wine and a snug little room awaits us on the King Crab's.
Surely you've met your match once or twice.
Ha! The closest I've got to my match is when I linger over long while lighting my pipe.
Oh, careful now. Your head's grown more swollen than saffron's, I dare say.
Ah, you have come. Yes, that is most satisfactory. Begone. The game, yes! A game of blood and brutality, of death and dexterity. Fun as herring the horror harlequin. But, like the serpentine stalk, the elves of Gandalf, they lived in peace. Oh, yes. But one night, when the moon had hid her face, the orcs of the tribe of Kazuldagar beset our city. They cooked and ate and all undone. Every last one of us. Except for me, the Midnight Rambler, away from the city. I was very old back then. I may be frail, a withered grey, but the wealth of kings is mine. Countless assassins have ministered to the vengeance that is my want, and now is almost over. By Kala, Lady of the Last Gaze, I swear it is almost done. I have tracked her down. By the curse of the spine spear I have. She does not know her ill-shapen son is setting fast. Color the dusk red, O sword of youth. Bloody the day with the bramble sap that runs through the veins of Victoria. Bring me the amulet that clings to her flesh, soon to fade. And yours shall be the bounty of vindication. Mine shall be its sanguine satisfaction. After long, long last. Yes, Victoria. She is the one whose heart... The orcs of Gazuldagar. They knew my name. Oh, yes. By the bite of the roving rattler, they knew my design. And so they sought to save their last. Her name is that of a woman, her employment that of a civilized being. But by the fork of Barbara Man-Eater, she is nothing but an orc, a sister of nature, one of a Miss Victoria, librarian, daughter, adopted child of Cecil, Mayor of Sicile. There is bloodlust in you. I can feel it. Let it out. Set it free. Undo the law. My name is Eglandir Twil Selanar, elf of the House of Gandavum, the slaughtered House of Gandavum. But by the twin blades of the Shadow Vixen, I shall have my revenge. The wolf...
That was quite the radical change we witnessed. I never would have thought that the benign old man we met outside would turn out to be a vengeance-driven aficionado of assassins. Indeed, Victoria probably doesn't even know about her past. And yet, she's on a, let's call him eccentrics, hit list.
They'll end it all! End it all in blood! The hunters go stalking in the night.
You'll be concerned enough when you realize that reward money won't be lying.
Jake, where are you? Are you here, Jake? Jake!
Rest in peace, darling. Oh, there's my pepper. Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, there it is.
Toasty!
Oh, good day to you. Sorry, sir.
That's it, troops. Train up while you can. The next orcish strike could land at any moment.
Up space! Go, robotics! Nuts!
Your return marks a victory, Hunter. We'll vanquish our foes yet.
The Legion stands at the ready. You don't look like you're quite ready to head out into the undead-infested wilds to me. You may thank you for heeding my words of warning, Hunter.
Sorry, sir.
Oh, I was really hoping to find something better. Nothing but rubbish. I've got my eyes on the prize.
So tell me, Septimus, would your wife or sweetheart be compensated by the Legion should tragedy befall you on the battlefield?
I suppose so. But seeing that I'm neither married, engaged, or attached in any way, I've never bothered to.
Polite, handsome, and single. Don't go anywhere tonight, Legionnaire. I'd be afraid alone in the dark.
A book about setting up the perfect crime.
I bet you're a real war hero.
Oh, I'm no hero, Esmeralda. I'm just a...
So that's what that did.
Esmeralda carries lots of cuts of meat.
Oh, thank heavens. Maybe now you can learn something useful, like how to wash your underthings.
Could this have been involved in the crime?
It certainly piques one's interest, doesn't it?
Everything we do seems to fortify your abilities.
I suppose your example has inspired me to reach heights I never before envisioned.
There's no experience to be...
The knight in see-through armor? Tos Jagetta, friend. Kira Lizor. Oh, do pardon my language, my friend. But that is quite the startling revelation. So much sadness, so much anguish. Eglandir's tale is heartrending, though it seems that in the pursuit of retribution, does he not see that I am now the one who is to be wronged? Why, oh why must he make me, of all gentle-minded and life-loving creatures, why must he make me the target of his imperishable soul? Let us approach the situation with reason and ask ourselves, where do we go from here? Though, first let me say this. Fascism bil Kushimzinum. From my heart, I thank you for warning me. I thank you and I trust you. So pray, let me pose the question. What do you advise we should do? Leg Fizoda! Yes, a capital notion. Let him be brought before the law for his schemes. It would probably be better if you rather than I informed Captain Aureus, though. He bears little goodwill toward me ever since my more savage brethren have been marauding the beaches and killing his legionnaires.
Here for your daily serving of veggies. Please partake of the plumpest produce ever produced. Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
A good day to you.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Here for your daily serving of veggies. Please partake of the plumpest produce ever produced.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Well, what sort of arrows do you want? Freezing? Silver? Poison? Get to the point.
Good day to you.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies size seals ever seen.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
A good day to you.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only ours for the sea.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
A good day to you.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish. Yours for a scrap of gold each.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish. Yours for a scrap of gold each.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish. Yours for a scrap of gold each.
undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Potions to bemuscle you. Scrolls to entussle you.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Heavenly herring. Delicious dogfish. Yours for a scrap of gold each.
A good day to you.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Fresh haddock. Perfect for a fry-up.
Not the mood for cheese. Their excuse is more hose than a slice of this fine Corbin meat.
Fresh haddock. Perfect for a fry-up.
Aim straight. Aim true. Arrows by the dozens.
Quiet day on the market, it seems. Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Heavenly herring. Delicious dogfish. Yours for a scrap of gold each.
Feed a big cheese on your broth with a wheel of the good stuff.
Quiet day on the market, it seems. Quiet day on the market, it seems. Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for fun.
Potions to bemuscle you. Scrolls to entussle you. Heavenly herring. Delicious dogfish. Yours for a scrap of gold each.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Aim straight. Aim true. Arrows by the dozens.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Not in the mood for cheese. Their excuse is more hose than a slice of this fine Corbin meat.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice and stir and churn.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies size seals ever seen.
Lonesome, spiritless, perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Feed a big cheese on your broth with a wheel of the good stuff.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Feed a big cheese on your broth with a wheel of the good stuff.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Fresh haddock. Perfect for fire.
Owen has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Heavenly herring. Delicious dogfish. Yours for a scrap of gold each.
Pay the big cheese on your front with a wheel of the good stuff.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Owen has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Heavenly herring. Delicious dogfish. Yours for a scrap of gold each.
Owen has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Owen has as many friends as the man with many cheeses. Pay the big cheese on your front with a wheel of the good stuff.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Pay the big cheese on your front with a wheel of the good stuff.
Fresh haddock. Perfect for fire.
Aim straight. Aim true. Arrows by the dozens.
Red and orange, yellow and green. The finest veggies size seals ever seen.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Heavenly herring. Delicious dogfish. Yours for a scrap of gold each.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Owen has as many friends as the man with many cheeses. Pay the big cheese on your front with a wheel of the good stuff.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Pay the big cheese on your front with a wheel of the good stuff.
Portions to be muscle you. Scrolls to intussle you.
Well, hello there.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Not in the mood for cheese. An excuse is more hose than a slice of this fine Norman.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Heavenly herring. Delicious dogfish. Yours for a scrap of gold each.
Quiet day on the market, it seems. Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Pay the big cheese on your front with a wheel of the good stuff.
It's official. The Duke of Ferrol is the worst poet in Rivellon.
In his defense, not much rhymes with murder. You can play here, all right, but that doesn't solve the mystery.
I think it would be wise to inspect the Councillor's corpse and see what clues we can find.
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent another soul flying to his death? Sad story, that. Though if I'm speaking plainly, the sentimental aspect of it all doesn't make much of an impression on an undertaker. Especially not these days. I just concern myself with giving the remains a respectable exit from life. We set him to rest in the northern graveyard. Perhaps he can finally get a little peace. What about it? Didn't I just say we gave it a respectable send-off? Why are you giving me the third degree?
The death
What
man
do you
is
think
never
you're doing?
hiding something.
She said it, not me.
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent another soul flying to his death?
Sigurd's beard, what a find!
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become. If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become. If only the popular girls from the Source...
Another perfect heist. You sneak with the subtlety of a tried and true cat burglar.
Why, thanks. I rather do, don't I? Ha! A few more heists and I'll be a fat cat in no time.
No doubt about it. You're...
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through...
Looks like the mortician is rather suspicious about Jake.
What could Mayor Cecil, Captain Aureus, or Evelyn have to do with it?
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? How do you... Ah, the ledger, is it? Fool was I to leave it in the open. Or perhaps I even looked forward to being found out. Well, as you know, I have my suspects in the matter. What would you like to know? I never saw a widow less distraught at the death of her husband, and I've seen hundreds pass through my parlor. It was she who rang my bell just before the body was snatched. Lured me outside, claiming she needed air, before discussing the funeral arrangements. Some accomplice could have sneaked in and grabbed the remains while I was comforting the oh-so-overcome Esmeralda. Plenty of us shopkeepers entrust the mayor with the spare keys to our businesses, you know. And he's the only person in town with a second copy of the key to the mortuary. He could have used it to sidle in without a peep, if he were so inclined. Aureus himself paid me a visit the night the body was delivered. Came rapping at my door in the frosty morning before the sun had even started peeping, and told me to tell him, and only him, if I noticed anything strange or suspicious about the remains. Can't see why he'd bothered to go through all that trouble, unless he knew something the rest of us don't. I know it sounds strange suspecting the doctor's apprentice of something so ghoulish as this, but there's few in this city could manage to transport a corpse without raising eyebrows. It was she who delivered Jake's body from the inn to the mortuary. And there was something about her that night. Some kind of excitement. Seemed she could barely contain her thoughts. That there was something thrilling about to happen. I can't quite settle it in my mind how a young medical professional would have such a strange reaction to an occasion such as that. And this may or may not have anything to do with the whole rigmarole. But her master, Dr. Theleron, bought an old shack of mine, one overtaken by undead, for an exorbitant price considering what he was getting. I never did figure what he wanted it for, but he sure seemed eager. That gold's the only good thing to come out of this blasted affair, and I certainly plan on making some use of it. You know, I reckon Bertia really didn't get a fair shake in all this, did she? Here, take the money and give it to her. Times are hard enough as they are.
What's this I've spotted?
Under lock and key.
Raven, we've secured the perimeter.
Those boots will embarrass a brick's throat. Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
You, again. Do feel free to depart from Sicil at your earliest convenience. Whom would you have the Legion arrest? The elf? What in the name of...
It's true. He is a dangerous lunatic and needs to be incarcerated.
So, he wants you to kill that savage the mayor calls his daughter, does he? Hardly seems a crime to do so. But I guess I cannot allow us... As I suspected. Yes? Discovered anything? Well, have you found any incriminating evidence against her? If so, let's have it. Oh, if you must.
Source Hunter. A sight for sore eyes, if ever there was one. I know you're probably knee-deep in that awful murder investigation. We've been conducting a series of expeditions into undead territory, and I'm afraid I must admit they've met with very little success. Lieutenant Selenia, at your service. I'm Captain Aureus' second-in-command, but rest assured I am a lot more kindly inclined towards source hunters than he is. Now, I certainly don't mind a bit of healthy competition, and even rivalry between our orders, but I, for one, have no intention of looking a gift horse in the mouth. And that is exactly what your presence in Sicil is, Source Hunter. A gift and a blessing. Only heroes such as yourself can make a true difference in this troubled part of the world. Such is my honest conviction. The undead. I pitied them at first. Many among them were once kind and innocent civilians of Sicil, after all. No longer do I feel that way, though. Too many of my soldiers have fallen. The dead must be put down. The bravest among my men and women tell me they are weaker in the west and stronger in the east. So I suggest you head westward if you want to flex your muscles and test the waters before blindly diving to your death. I shall be very glad to share what information I can give you. If ever we want to be victorious in Sicil, we have to track down the root of the undead uprising. Under the 3 landmarks were chosen for further investigation. The lighthouse, the burial mounds, and the old church. There's a lighthouse to the west, up on the bluffs, overlooking the sea. No man has gone there in a decade, and yet a light shines from its pinnacle every night. The locals say it's haunted, and half a dozen legionnaires have gone to find out whether or not those are mere tall tales. I fear for their safety. There are ancient burial grounds to be found north of the city. As good a place as any to start looking for necromancers, wouldn't you say? A local archaeologist offered to tag along with the men. Here's hoping his knowledge on the subject may prove to be of use to them. There's a church to the northeast of here, built atop the very place where once stood a temple dedicated to the Source. The Sicilians razed it, and built a church for the Seven instead, supposedly to symbolize the victory of the gods over evil sorcery. All superstitious mumbo-jumbo, if you ask me. But when the dead rose, that is when they were first spotted. Hence the expedition. So I did. The Pact of Volunteers. Many Legionnaires will do whatever it takes to go home, which is why I personally sign their transfer orders the moment they make it back from a mission behind enemy lines. The chances of survival during these sorties are only about 1 in 10, you see. So my soldiers are free to volunteer, and if they are successful, they just bought themselves a boat ride home.
Toasty! Baking like a cake!
I'm overheating here.
Beyond these walls, the dead roam free, Hunter. Be vigilant. Oh, it never ends around here. There's a zombie in my garden, my sheep is missing, an orc ate my baby. Night and day, day and night.
Ah, I'm dripping. Oh, I'm drenched.
I'm dripping.
awaits you.
Face the unending darkness.
Oh my god. Sadness.
This is the end for you!
Bless the seven, I am restored!
Dangerous.
This is the end for you!
Looks like more of the Legionnaires sent to investigate the lighthouse.
Stay sharp, or we'll end up the same.
I've spotted something.
That moaning. Oh, don't go any closer.
Come now. We've got to show these spooks the meaning of Legion grit.
I'm up to my short hairs in grit. I don't need to wrangle a devil to prove that.
If you haven't got what it takes, I'll do it myself.
Oh, thank the seven. Lucia, it's the Source Hunter. We're not going to die on this haunted cliff after all.
Who's dying? We're just resting up. The calm, there's certainly something fishy happening. The light shines sure as the tides. But there's not been an attendant there for nearly 2 decades.
What Selenia failed to mention was that it wasn't just the ghosts at the lighthouse we had to worry about. It was every savage skeleton on the way there and back too. When we started, we were 7.
Survival of the fittest, I say. We're just here marshalling our...
Ha! Marshalling our strength, indeed. To be honest, we've been shaking like chihuahuas, praying for a way out of this mess.
Malleus, your dignity's in a puddle at your feet. As for me, an honourable soldier and servant to Rivel. So, what do you say, Source Hunter? Will you check out the lighthouse in the name of your comrades in arms? If Selenia sees the place...
You'll go to the lighthouse and straighten matters out, yes? Well, let...
The further we go, the more bodies we find to where.
We must be closing in on where they were headed. I needed that. feel better already. On the mend. An invigorating fight that was. And what a killing blow you delivered. Oh, there, I wouldn't go that far. Especially not standing in the blast radius of your soon-to-burst... Back on my feet again.
man's trash is another man's trash.
You say you will take me under your wing, but I see no feathers. Are you a child of the birds, as I am of the bears? In truth, this is a relief. Your world is made with rules I have not yet memorized. I am happy to have a friend in such a place. And so the lonely babe was fed upon the wild mother's milk, and cast aside from humankind, he thrived among his mother's ilk. So says the saga of Threes. Do you know it? The wise godwolf Amira raised the child Threes among her litter. So you see, I have good company. Threes the wolfson, and I the bear daughter. Ask freely, my friend. Jarrett, wise Jarrett, taught me the bird songs of our people. If not for him, I would never have learned more than the beasts could teach me. A beast's life is to survive. A human's is to know. I am both beast and human, and so I must do both. I have learned all the bird song that Jarrett could teach. I remembered every word. These tales have brought me much pleasure. The remembering of the beasts is without lies. We know not to approach the wasp's nest because long ago one bear mother discovered its dangers. This she taught to her cubs, and those cubs taught the next. We do not remember Rito and the battle of the buzzing brutes. We remember only what is useful to us now. Rito will be forgotten. The beauty of the story will be forgotten. But the lesson will not. It is different between beasts and humans. I am lucky to enjoy both ways. He came to me when I was small. A fierce, wild one, yet unaware of the difference between the other cubs and herself. He called to me in a soft song. At first I thought him a great bird. We each reached out to the other. We found each other. Jarrett visited me often, and in time I learned his songs and more. When he built a small cabin within Home Forest, I hunted his food and fetched his water by day while he studied his books and his magics. By night, by the fire, he'd tell me tales of the world of people. Jarrett is my master and my friend, my teacher and myself. He teaches me and I care for him. Your city is far more wild than Home Forest. In Home Forest, the rules are clear. In Home Forest, your strength and speed determine your fate. Here, a tiny screech woman, no swifter than a mudworm, might confine you into a tiny cage, and one must wait for a kind stranger to grant freedom. I heard this was a place of many people, so here I came. I have seen more faces here in a day than I had seen in all the days of my life together. But I have not found the face I seek. Jarrett is missing. It is my duty to find him. That mystery is thick and ugly as a swarm of hornets. It started with a great disturbance in Home Forest. A terrible disease came in the night and turned the birds and beasts soft and foul as carrion while they still lived. I watched countless of my loved ones die, rotted from the inside. When I ran to Jarrett to tell him what I had seen, his reaction was strange. He had no answer. The next morning, Jarrett did not emerge from his room. I left him be, but after 3 days I grew anxious. I broke down the door, and inside his chamber was nothing. His equipment, his books, all but some scraps of parchment were gone. He was kidnapped, and all his research was taken with him. The only clue I found was a letter among the scraps. I could not make out all the words, but I recognized the threat. Death, coming for you. And the signature? Attenborough. I do not know the one called Attenborough, but I know that if I am to find Jarrett, I must start there. Whoever this Attenborough may be, I believe he or she may know where Jarrett has been taken. I am on the trail, Source Hunter.
heard powerful undead like the Lighthouse School never truly die, but lie in wait to be resurrected again.
What's this? Living eyes that can see the shape of death? Avert your gaze, wanderer, for you are looking upon the Samson was my name, a long time ago. I know not why upon my death I became a ghost, doomed to haunt them. If so, their punishment was just. That indeed is the tainted title I must bear, and deservedly so. For 15 years ago to the day, it was that I deliberately had I forgone to do my duty. Wilfred, why did I commit this act of blackest horror? Jealousy, anger, the bitter anguish of a broken heart. Those are the ancient ills that drove me to madness. Desdemona was possessed, as I was, by the demons of envy, ire, and torment. I decided that if I had her love no longer, only death could. Yet no sooner had the water closed its spuming jaws around the perishing vessel below, that the extent of my offense dawned on my beleaguered mind. Skeletons roamed the lands, restless as my troubled soul, but shall not find their lair here. Some the darkness of day, the fires of night. There I dwell. Dearest Desdemona, I see your eyes before me still. Were that I could drown in their the ship, the waves, the
Well,
cold
what's this I've spotted?
And I, the maniac in the darkened lighthouse. Oh, these walls, my home, my hell. I may have died, but my guilt lives on and on. I see your eyes before me still. Were that I could drown in their endless azure.
I'm drenched!
How did it go? Don't spare any details. We need to make...
Indeed. Now, there's a story.
So, let me get this straight. There's a ghost inside operating the lighthouse, and you managed to do away with the bad...
And I'm sure Selenia will be thrilled to hear we did it. Another triumph for Legion Daring Do. And if this doesn't...
I need a moment to reflect.
Your generosity honors our esteemed order. Potent heat!
Naught but a trifle for us legionnaires, what? We fought like lions, slaying 3, 4, undead with every blow. I say, impressive. Well, look what the cat dragged in. Good to see you. My brave troops were just telling me...
Bravest guards we've met, like lions.
Yes, I bet legionnaires can impress even source hunters. Now, as for my 2 braves here, you shall prepare to leave...
Thank you, Lieutenant. All in the day's work.